Hello and welcome to our webinar on the SURF project. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And we are excited to share this project with you and to work together for a more sustainable future for rural communities. As you know, this webinar, Pathway to Resilience, it's an introductory webinar. So we are not going to delve deeply into the topics today. Instead, you will get an overview of the themes that we are going to develop during the project and in the future activities that you can participate in. So the agenda for today, it's a short overview of the project with the motivation of all the partners, the objectives, and the key milestone of the project and all the opportunities that you can take advantage here. Then we will listen an expert in climate change and in sustainability, and to understand the climate change and how to create effective adaptation strategies involving the community. Then we will listen the inspiring stories from Spain, from the Zarza Experta, that is a rural network. And it's about participatory processes and their experience with rural communities. Then the future opportunities that you can take advantage, for example, the in-person workshops that we are going to develop, the courses that are certificated, and how to stay involved in all the activities during this project. And finally, we will finalize with an interactive question and answer session. That I want to clarify something, that during this webinar and during the entire SURF project, we don't want you to be just listeners. We want you to actively participate, criticize, share your thoughts, and feel this project as yours. And that's because of logistics and the limited time of just 1 hour in this webinar. We will save the questions for the end. But however, I encourage you to write down all the questions in the chat, and we will still here until all the questions are addressed. This project is based on the involvement of the communities and your insights, so please speak. I'm Natalia Spano from Low Carbon Economy, and I will present all the partners, but first I will leave the floor to Chiara from Europa for a short icebreaker exercise.
Thank you very much, Natalia. So you might have seen in the title of this webinar and in the agenda this word climate change and adaptation coming up. Just to start, before going in depth into the project and the topics of the project, I would start with something simple, if you would like. I hope you all have around your desk a piece of paper and a pen. If you can grab it. And we're just starting by just drawing the first things that comes to our mind when thinking about the concept of climate change adaptation. It can be everything. It can be like an image or a word, whatever you feel like. Just let your creativity flow. And don't worry, there's no right and wrong. So whatever comes to your mind, and I'll just keep 5 minutes, and then maybe we can share it together and show it and just have a laugh about it. So don't worry about it. Don't worry, you don't need to be an artist. So I'm just gonna leave 5 minutes to you all, and whatever it comes to your mind, the first things. Okay, so the 5 minutes are over. I hope you all had the chance to draw something. And Now, I would ask if any of you is open to share the drawing just by, showing it on the webcam and maybe saying something about it. Let's see if anyone wants to start. If not, I'm gonna start with mine. And I'm telling you, I'm not an artist, so you can open your microphone, just show your picture, and you can say something about it or even not, just showing it. We can all show it also to the webcam together.
Chiara, hello. I'm not an artist, sorry, but I have written some concepts that I consider that are important for this, no? So I don't know. Well, as you can see, I'm not an artist. What I have made is I have written the population, rural areas, heritage, and networks. And I have linked all of these concepts with the word opportunities. Okay. Sorry for my design.
Not at all. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing.
Hi, Chiara. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Talk you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Federica. I'm not an artist as well, but I drawn a tree. So whenever I think about climate changes and climate changes adaptations, I always think about trees. I live and I work in a rural area, and we are working a lot with these concepts as well. And we have this project to plant trees. So I always relate to that because we know that, of course, we have to adapt to climate changes that are now having their course, but we can do something also to stop. And planting trees is one of the things that I always think about.
Thank you, Federica.
Okay, so hello, Chiara. So I write only some keywords that to utilize means of transport more sustainable, so more green transports, like so to fight climate change adaptation.
Thank you. Thank you, Caterina.
I've written 3 keywords too, because I couldn't think about something to draw. So I've written community, collaborate, and cooperation, because I think about the communitarian aspect of adaptation. So it should be pluralistic. I don't know.
Hello, I'm Aurelia from Palermo too. I don't know if you can see it. I draw and wrote something. I start with this. Actually, it's like circle from people, which is make like small communities. Also for me, when we talk about climate change, always trees and nature comes in my mind. And after like something circular, something that's I mean circular economy, of course, but also like thinking that everything we made, we come back again. Like we give back to the people, we give back to nature, everything, all the aspects of our life, like go back again and come back again. So thinking about that when we talk about climate change adaptation. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I don't know if someone else wants to share. I can share mine because it's actually very connected to all of you. I'm also not an artist, but I wrote the word permaculture, and then I tried to draw different plants and trees being connected all together. And this comes also from my personal experience because I live up the mountains, and I'm I am doing a permaculture project. So I also, it's all connected to what you have said. To me, it comes to my mind, the fact that there are connections, everything is connected, everything comes back to nature. There is a relation, there is a circular relation. And I think it's very interesting how all these words are coming up, opportunities, communities, connection, circularity, because they're strong keywords and very important keywords that are part of adaptation.
Hello, everybody. I am Carla from Low Carbon, and I totally agree with your ideas. I cannot show mine because I was doing my job in the world. Then I won't share, but I will tell you. When you show me trees, I think of green infrastructure. I think about of the green network, no, which involves social participation, multifunctionality, and connectivity. So for me also, these are the three main keywords, and for me is one of the most important tool to address climate change, and also as a solution for the climate change mitigation. So yeah.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Chiara.
Well, I don't know if someone else wants to share. If not, we already have a lot. Our brain started to think, and we have ideas and images coming up into our minds. So we're starting to, enter maybe this topic. And now we will go in depth into it. And Natalia will. So I give the floor back to her, and she will accompany us into this journey.
Okay, thank you, Chiara, and thank you, all of you. So our project, Sustainable Rural Future, maybe when you think the word surf, you think in water or the beach, but it is just a metaphor. It's the climate change is like a wave, and it's an undeniable reality. And you can choose to learn and surf the wave, gaining knowledge, the skills, and the attitude that are necessary for a proper adaptation, or you can be overwhelmed by it. So the project is founded by ERASMUS+, and we think that this is not another initiative on sustainable practices. It's a comprehensive approach to empowering the rural communities through education, community involvement, and the creation of a strong network that can support all the efforts. This project is a key action too. It's a cooperation partnerships in adult education. And it has started last December, and it will last for 2 years. The priorities addressed in this project are the environment and fights against climate change, that is mitigation and adaptation, the common values and civic engagement, because we think it's crucial to create solutions from the community. And a specific priority is to improve the competencies of adult educators or the personnel related to adult education. The partnership is composed for 6 organizations from 3 different countries. This is Spain, Italy, and Slovenia. And we are 2 specialists in sustainability and European projects and supporting public and private entities, that is Low Carbon Economy Foundation and in Europa. Low Carbon Economy is the leader of this project. Then 2 distinguished universities, the University Jaume I in Spain, Castellón, and the University of Ljubljana. with expertise in participatory processes, in rural development, and the concept of new rurality. And finally, 2 centers focused on work and non-formal education that are very related with rural development. That is ARCES from Italy and the Center of Sustainable Rural Development. Here you have all the contact information of these organizations because you can use the official networks of this project, but maybe you feel more comfortable reaching your local organization and speaking your languages. So we will share this presentation and you have the contact information of them. The objectives of this project are to understand and improve the knowledge about climate change from a more systemic and complex approach, and how rural areas can adapt to this climate change. And of course, promoting social participation and involving the community in the decision-making processes, and generating adult learning, adult training, and that we think it can contribute to the sustainable rural development. And with the framework of an European rural network or a community of practice for the exchange of information and creating networks with other actors in Europe. So the benefits for all the participants, that's you and us as partners and all the stakeholders involved, are deeper in the understanding of the climate change, the impacts, and how to address these issues and adapt to this reality. We recognize that many of you, or maybe all of you, have been working hard in your communities, dealing with climate change, building networks, and fostering sustainable practices. So we know that we don't start from scratch, and we are here to support and to amplify these efforts, not to overshadow them. Our aim is to be a catalyst and a bridge, connecting with the experts, the resources, and all the stakeholders across Europe. So with this project that we hope that it's for 2 years, but we want to be in the future, we are going to work with proven mechanisms to involve the citizens, to identify the risks, vulnerabilities in your communities, and to create effective adaptation plans. Of course, detecting educational gaps that we think it's important to guarantee an effective strategy, and with the framework of a network that can support all these efforts. So let's use this project as an opportunity to connect, to learn, to grow as a community and to be stronger. So now I would like to introduce our first speaker. He's Jose Segarra, and he's our expert in climate change and adaptation measures. He's the director of Low Carbon Economy Foundation, and he's the European Climate Pact Ambassador. So Jose, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Natalia, and thank you for this introduction with my picture. I didn't expect this this introduction, so thank you very much. I'm going to share my presentation. Okay, just a moment. Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, well, as Natalia was saying, I am going to start to talk a bit about the climate change and specifically climate change adaptation. Today, I have only 15, 20 minutes just to talk a bit about the main concepts and the main topics that we will develop during the project, and also we will develop as well in the workshops that we will do with you in probably in September, October. So today is just to have some tips, no? First of all, here I think that this is not any kind of doubt about climate change and these things, but I consider that it's important always to remind why we have this big challenge, no? Because also, especially in this period with a lot of populism, no, and polarization, and is difficult to communicate sometimes about climate change. But for I want to just to remind that it's clear that climate change is anthropogenic, no, that the human system has produced this situation. And I like to show this picture because it's very, very visual, and you can see how the temperature has been increasing during the last period of the last years, no? And the connection with the carbon dioxide emissions, with the CO2 emissions. So the blue line is the evolution of the CO2 emissions and how the temperature is following this trend, no? This trend of the greenhouse gas emissions. So this is absolutely clear that the connection among the CO2 and the temperature, no, is I am saying directly. This is another picture that is showing practically the same, how the parts per million of CO2 during the last period, and the temperature that is in the colors, no, that is more red and is being hard. But also I think that is very, very interesting to see how during this period of time we have included a lot of events, a lot of conferences, a lot of protocols, a lot of agreements, always related with climate change. But the evolution of the emissions, of the CO2 emissions, has been increasing always, and until now it is not decreasing, no? So it's important to see how everything is flowing, no? We are trying to do the policies, and we are trying to do a lot of actions, but still with these actions, the evolution of the economy and the system that we are include is just doing more and more. It is producing more and more climate change, no, and CO2. And well, this is the annual emissions by countries, no, and especially, as you know, China and India, they are increasing a lot the emission the last period of time. Probably in Europe and North America, they have been putting more in balance, no, the emissions with renewable energies and other kind of energies, no, but it's clear that probably China and India, they are producing a lot because our production is there, no? We have translate as well the production from Europe or North America to these ASEAN countries. So we are like putting the problem there, and we are consuming more and more. So this is the real reason. All this situation is, as you know, is quite problematic, and especially I like to show this picture usually in some conferences because it shows how it is going to be in the future. I mean, this picture is from the IPCC report. Okay, this is the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, and it shows how the evolution again of the temperature from the last century, and they are predicting the temperature in the future with different scenarios. very low scenario, that it means that we are going to act with the emissions. No, we are going to change our mind. We are going to change our economy, and we are going to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, and then we can control more or less the impact of climate change. And the worst case is that we are going to continue with the same model of economical and societal model, and the risks are very high. What is happening here? So if you can see in the below, no, we can see that the people who was born in the 50s, okay, they were living all this period of time, but now they are probably in the last period of their life, and they are going to live just these last years of climate change. Then we have another period of the time that the people who was born in the 80s. So we are probably now in the middle of our lives. So we have in front of us a lot of years, no, that we have to deal with climate change effects, but especially for the young people, no, the children and the babies, that they are born now in this at this moment, no, during these years, they have in front of them, they have to deal with the real impact. So they have no responsibility, no, because they are born now, and they are going to deal with all the impact. So this is because I think it's very important to work especially as well with adaptation. And now I'm going to talk a bit about this concept. First of all, for me, it's very important to have a clear idea about mitigation and adaptation. One of the colleagues that she was showing this tree, no, she was talking about this, no. Climate change is not only adaptation. Climate change is not only mitigation. So we have two faces in the same coin, no. We cannot work only in one direction or the other direction. We have to join mitigation and adaptation all together. But it's true that we can understand the two topics in a different way, no? So mitigation is just to act to reduce the emissions. I mean, this is absolutely focused on this topic. We are going to reduce the emissions. This is not only with industry. This is not only with transport, probably. So I think we have to include as well the societal behavior, no? What we are doing with the consumption, with our lifestyles. So this is very important as well for mitigation, because usually we are thinking in the big industry, no, that they are producing the emissions, sorry, but this is connected as well with our behavior. So it's very important. And adaptation is going to focus on the actions that are preventing or reducing the impacts and the risk. Okay, so we are going to, as the name is saying, we are going to adapt the situation in order to reduce the effects of the climate change. And when we are talking with adaptation, now we are going to see in the next slides, but it's very important to talk about vulnerability and exposure. Okay, we will talk later why, but these words are very important: vulnerability and exposure. Well, here we have some examples, but I think that it's quite clear. So, for example, with adaptation, we can build some infrastructures, or we can create some flood protection. We can create more trees as well, to urban forests, for example, renaturalization. All these kind of actions that help us to adapt to climate change. And with mitigation, as we were talking, we have renewable energies, we have energy efficiency, we have sustainable transport, for example. So different kind of actions. And this is probably the most important slide that I wanted to show you today, because this is very connected with the workshop that we are going to develop in the next in the future, no, in September, October, with the regions, with the rural regions. This framework was created with the IPCC report as well. This is something that is more or less official, and I'm going to be very brief, but the risk is the effect that we are going to suffer, no, with climate change depend of different things. First of all, is the hazards, no, the effects that we are going to have with climate change. It's important. Also, it's important to say that when we are talking about risk, about hazards, with climate change, we have different levels that usually they are working in cascade. No, if we think in climate change, probably we are thinking in drought, we are thinking in fires, we are thinking in heat waves, we are thinking in this kind of effects. No, so these are the first effects that we have directly with climate change, but then these impacts are going to affect to the biological, to the ecological systems, and finally the effects are going to be more specific for the human, for example, just to we are going to suffer by health, we are going to have less access to the water, to the food. We are going to be affected by, I don't know, in economical and societal in general, no, as well, not only in environmental, that this is as well very, very important. So, I mean, this is important to think in cascade, no, the impacts are flowing. So anyway, this is the part of hazards. We are going to have some hazards, some damages, but also is related with the vulnerability and exposure. I mean, if we have a big effect, but we are thinking in a field, for example, that there is nothing, that there is not trees, that there is not animals, that there are not infrastructures, that there are not living humans. So, okay, can be a big effect, but the vulnerability there is not too much because there is nothing, no? But if we are thinking in a small village that are with all people, for example, so probably the effect is going to be very high. So we have to think in vulnerability and in exposure. That is also connected with this topic that I am talking, no? Connected with the sensitivity of the system that we are working. So, well, this is very, very quick. It's difficult to explain all this context in few minutes, but this is something that we are going to work during the workshop, and then we are going to create this risk assessment thinking in our region, in our local placement, detecting the hazards, detecting the vulnerability, and detecting the exposure. No? So, well, this is something that in the last report of the IPCC, they have included another aspect, that is the response. And this is also connected with the capacity of adaptation. I mean, we can have this risk that we are talking, but then we can create a planification in order to deal with the risk, or we can do a good management of the risk. Probably if we have a fire in the forest, we can do a good management, and then the effect of the fire is going to be reduced. If we are doing a bad management of the fire, the impact can be very, very high. No, so this is another aspect that is quite important and relevant. And well, this slide is practically the same. No, is the capacity of adaptation, is the ability of people or the system to adapt to these damages, and this is something that we are going to work during the workshops, okay? Always around the concept that I am talking, no? The hazards, the exposure, and the vulnerability. And well, I am going very, very fast. I think I have 2 minutes more, so I would like to talk about another very interesting concept that we have always to keep in mind, this concept of maladaptation, okay? Because sometimes we are taking some measures, some actions that we can think that we are doing an adaptation, but finally this adaptation that we consider adaptation is going to have a worse effect probably that if we don't do anything. So following the definition of the IPCC in 2014, it was that maladaptive action or maladaptation are actions that may lead to increase the risk, okay, increase the risk of adverse climate-related outcomes, increase the vulnerability to climate change, or diminishes the welfare, okay? Can be now or in the future. Probably now we can create an action that now can be a good solution for adaptation, but probably in the future is going to be worse. Here I have some examples. For example, thinking about flood protection. Sorry, in some areas we can create a barrier to protect our region from the floods, but this barrier could create a big impact in other areas, no, in the neighborhood or in another areas that are connected with the same rivers or in the same areas. Another example could be the water scarcity, no? That we can think, okay, if we have water scarcity, then we are going to get more water with pumps, no, from the wells, and this is going to provoke more drought. Well, we can find a lot of examples. For example, something very, very common is that if we have higher temperature, we are going to use the air conditioning, no? We are going to be fresh, but this is consuming more energy, and probably this is producing more CO2 emissions. So we cannot, all the people using more and more air conditioning in order to prevent the higher temperature, no? We have to think about other solutions. And well, here I put another very interesting that I think is very interesting for our project, that is the local knowledge. Not probably there are sometimes that from the regional government or the national government, they can decide to do some actions at local level, and they are not considering the local knowledge. And I think it's very important because all the problems that are at local level, usually the local communities are going to know better what is happening in the placement, no? So it's very important to connect with this local knowledge in order to define the local solutions. So, and this is something that we will develop during the workshop as well. Finally, just to remind as well that usually we are thinking in environmental solutions when we are talking about climate change, but it's very important to think about societal and economical solutions as well, especially when we are talking in rural areas, probably, no? For example, our colleague from the university, he was talking about the population, about heritage. So all these topics about culture, about economy is very important because we cannot think only in environmental aspects. They are very important, of course, and probably the first impacts are going to be directly on environmental and ecological aspects. But this, as I was saying, the cascade, no, these effects in cascade are going to affect the society, the economy, and this is important to consider during all the process. And well, this is something else about maladaptation, but I think I am out of time. So we can conclude here the presentation, and I hope that you are a bit more motivated in order to participate in the future workshop. I hope so. If not, it's can be bad news, but I hope that you can be involved in the future workshop, and we are going to go deeper on these topics, and I hope that we can do a very interesting work as well. So now I'm going to stop here the presentation, and well, now just I think it's the turn of the University of Jaume I in Castellón, and we are going to hear the inspiring success stories, no, from Spain and the rural areas in Castellón. And we have Anabel Ejarque. She's a member of the Xarxa Experta of the University Jaume I in Castellón, and also she is a local development technician at in the municipality of Forcall. No? So, Anabel, when you want.
Hello. Natalia, ¿me puedes compartir la presentación?
De acuerdo, ¿la amarilla o la violeta?
La violeta.
Bien.
Bueno, I'm Anabel Ejarque, and I work as a development technician in a municipality of less than 500 inhabitants. And I'm participating in this project because the connection that I have with the university extension program for more than 20 years, and I'm currently a member of the Xarxa Experta program within the knowledge mobilization program of the University Jaume I. First of all, I'm going to describe the long history of joint work between the University Jaume I and its rural territory. The PEU University Extension Program is for municipalities with less than 5,000 inhabitants. The objectives are social and cultural transformation, cooperation, permanent, open and plural training, informal, cooperative and experiential learning, and critical reflection of reality. The keywords are territory, development, and knowledge. The way of working is connected through a technical table. It's a network of technicians working in the rural areas, meeting points at the chains that will serve as a link between the university and the territory. The training, professionalizing, specialists to respond to our needs. Projects such as Enclave UGI, this is a network of municipalities for culture, different municipalities, and one of these projects is AVAN. It's about a network of rural contemporary research centers for the analysis and critical reflection of the old mechanisms and social models of symbolic productions. The objective is plan new forms of cultural management. This is the web for more information and other projects about the next page. Okay. Citizen development and participation. One of these is the Les Mans del Sports, the Hands del Sports. It's a compilation of traditional professions from the Ports region and creations of the networks of museums. Each municipality has made a profession visible. Another project is the compilation of industrial heritage. A group of technicians, associations, and groups that are working on the compilation and valorization of industrial heritage. The municipalities of the Port region are working on these projects at this time. This is not a quick process. Everything has its steps and learning. We have been working together for more than 20 years, but in this moment, we are working in this direction. And Natalia, the other presenter, fruit of all these years of continuous works with the University Jaume I appeared the Knowledge Mobilization Program. This is the expert network. It's a space to facilitate the mobilization of knowledge in the rural areas. This is the region of Castellón, and this is the municipalities that participate with the Programa de Extensión Universitaria with the University Jaume I. Depend the mutual relationship in a participatory and empowered way. The expert network is a network of technicians with an extensive experience and technical solvents, and we have two territorial links. One of the projects is the Estratègies per al Desenvolupament Local a la Ruralitat. It's a research about the professionals of development in rural areas. And another of these projects is an update map of projects, economic activities, and entities. It's a research about identification of innovative initiatives in rural areas. The projects that have been part of and that have already ended, the community energy management, it's about energy communities as an element of community autonomy in rural areas. Other project about the tradition acknowledged as the axis of new agricultural strategies, the new agriculture as a result of traditional and scientific elements. Why do young people return to the towns? We want to identify of elements for the return of young people from the Port region. And the last, it's a diagnosis of housing market problems. It's an important problem in the rural housing. And this is esto es todo, Natalia.
Okay, thank you, Annabelle. Sorry, I want to stop sharing. Okay, thank you, Annabelle. This is they have been working many years in different projects, so I think you can connect with them and to know about their experience. Now we don't have too much time, but Chiara is going to present the future opportunities that you can use, you can take advantage and participate. So Chiara, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I'm just gonna give you an overview on the next steps of our project, just so you to understand where the journey will take us and you, if you would like to be part of it. So as Jose was already saying, the next activity we will have, it's a workshop on climate change adaptation. So we will go more in depth on the topic, and ideally this workshop, there will be 3 workshops, so one in each of the partner countries, so one in Italy, one in Spain, and one in Slovenia, and it will be delivered locally, so in national language, and it will be delivered in September/October. The target is, of course, the workshop is open to, well, I would say member of rural communities, and particularly because it's interesting for them, to technicians and professionals working in local development. But it's also open to adults who are interested in the topic and would like to improve their knowledge and their skills in the topic. After this workshop, we will have again an international moment. So similar to this one, but as you know, we will work locally. Maybe it will be the occasion to share what it has been done in the local workshop, and this will be in October, probably end of October. And of course, it's for the participant of the workshop. Afterwards, so in the fall, from October to December, the timing is not defined yet, but the duration of the course is, and it will be a 2-month course. It's a training course on participative approach, and it will be delivered by the University Jaume I, so the University of Castellón, and it will be delivered at an international level, so in English language, and it will be academically accredited, so there will be credits for it. And specifically, it's for technicians and professionals working in the field of local development. At the end of this course, we will have an event, a training event for implementing this approach, this participative approach. And this will be the occasion for the participant of the course, so for the member of the communities and the member of the community, so for the technician and the member of the communities they refer to identify opportunities, challenges, and difficulties into their rural area. And this will happen after the course, so at the end of it, so in between November and December. And it will be delivered locally, so it means there will be an event in every country, one in Spain, one in Slovenia, and one in Italy. This is the next steps and the future of our project from now till the end of the year. Then, of course, it will have further implementation, but this is the first part and the important part. And as we have all of your contacts, in particular for the workshop, will let's say that each organization will be in touch with the participant locally to organize and to give information about the workshop. And that's it from my side. Well, I also want to thank you all for participating, but I will leave the floor to Natalia to conclude.
Okay, thank you, Chiara. I will leave this slide just a few minutes to see the website of the project, the Instagram, and to stay updated on these activities that we are going to develop. Anyway, Xavi wants to do a clarification because I think we can prepare the course in different languages, so it's great news. And I will leave you the floor, Xavi, in a few minutes. And we can leave this space to the questions or discussions, concerns. If you don't feel comfortable speaking in English, you can speak in your local language, and we will try to answer in both English and the local language to understand for all the participants. So I will leave the website in the chat, and I will stop sharing screen. So Xavi, please. You are muted.
Hello. No sé qué hacer en English. I want to say you that the para-approach course is in the languages in Spanish, and I subtitulated the videos in each language of over the country participated in the project. The course is non in time. ¿Cómo es digo non in time?
Non-synchronic?
Non-synchronic is asynchronic formation with videos in Spanish and subtitulated in the Italian and English and etc. Es la manera que hemos tenido de sacarlo.
Okay. Thank you, Xavi. If you want to be updated on that, you can register in the form that maybe you already do it. If not, in the chat is the link. I don't know if you have comments, questions, concerns.
Ahora,
Yeah. Xavi, or I don't know who else. Yeah, you can open your mic and say if you like the project, if you want to participate or not.
Only something to say that about the training, we will make 3 different courses. We have more or less 2 courses defined. As soon as possible, I will send you some clarification about these courses. One of them is about research techniques, okay, methodologies about research, and another one is about strategies of rural participation. And we are developing the third training about development and strategies, etc. So, but we are defining in this moment. The 3 courses means more or less 100 hours. Okay, and from these 100 hours, and a part of this is with the video that Xavier explained, and the second part of these courses is about the development of one case example or a project about the topics that were included in each one of these specific trainings. So as Xavi have said, the idea is to make this asynchronic, and the idea is that we will make it in Spanish and will be subtitled in the different languages of the participant of this project. The assessment, the specific assessment included in these courses will be one-to-one reunions on time, so not asynchronous. Will be using, for example, mailing or, for example, meeting, online meeting, etc. Okay, any one of the students that want to develop a project will receive a specific assessment to make their projects possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Do you want to say? Okay, Marco.
I'll just have a comment. I think it's an interesting project, but my first impression is that it's very needed. Of course, it's shares the topic that we are very interested in, and it's important. And I think the adaptations that we worked on in the beginning, yes, it covered pretty much what we it seems commonly shared, so there was no need to develop any further. But well, of course, the problem is global. I had this question because in the presentation we saw like how CO2 is produced in industry, but we are actually dealing with rural areas where industry is minor part of the effect. So if we want to, in my opinion, if we want to make a proper solution for the rural area, we should not be concerned much with the industry, maybe more with transport and the production of food. So and find the relevant solutions for rural areas, not for looking for the industry. If you can understand what I'm saying, because the producers of CO2 in the industry is part of the producer, but there's also transportation, electricity, and so this is what I think that in a way we should, to find the proper solution, we should deal with also relevant information.
Yes, Marco. Thank you for your comment. Obviously, as you are saying, this is not the main problem, no, for rural areas. When I was showing this graphic about CO2 emissions, mainly I wanted to show the global problem, no, about emissions, about the climate change, and not the specific problem about rural areas, of course. In fact, here, for example, in Castellón region, and probably it's the same in Italy or Slovenia as well, if we do a balance, no, if we do the balance of greenhouse emissions in a lot of these rural areas, probably it's negative, because we have not very high emissions and we have a lot of forest and green areas. So probably rural areas are not producing, and even they are capturing, no, the CO2. There are regions that are capturing but so this, I am totally agree with you. But the problem, we have a big problem, that is climate change, and of course this is affecting us, no, it's affecting the rural areas, and we have to deal with these problems. So during the project and during the workshops, we are going to work mainly with these local problems that we have, no, the local risk and the local solutions that we can detect, especially in a participatory process, no, with the local knowledge, with local participants, detecting what are the real problems, the real impacts, and try to find some solutions, no, for our local region. So probably we are not going to find exactly the same solutions neither. Probably in some municipalities in Spain are a bit different from Slovenia or from Italy. And finally, we are going to share all of this information, because I think it can be very useful for us as well. But we can find, of course, different solutions as well in different regions.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.
If I may add something about this, as I said, I live in a rural area, and of course we don't have industries like in the cities or in the most inhabited centers, but we have agriculture, and it's intensive agriculture. So definitely we should involve probably even agriculturists, the people who work within this field, because it actually affects a lot the rural areas. So from my part, I will attend the workshops. If we can, as with my organization, we can involve the other people that works in the agriculture or in slow food movement. And but I think that even in the rural area, there is actually there are the producers of emissions. So it's important to work, and not only to adapt, but also to prevent the increasing of the climate changes.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, yeah, this is we have different realities, no? We are going to find different realities in each place. Of course, in rural areas, probably agriculture and also transport is very important as well, because I think it's one of the challenges for rural areas, no, that are a bit more isolated, and they need the transport always to move to other cities. And as you are saying, agriculture and farming are going to be the main activities probably in rural areas. But we will find all these topics during the workshops, because we are going to work locally, and we are going to find out what are the challenges of different regions and different Okay, thank you for the comment, Federica.
Do you want to say something else?
Maybe just me, Barbara from Slovenia, University of Ljubljana. I think it's very important how the regional or national partners, our job is important in next step, I think. So we have to prepare this next step very wisely and very topic orientated, you know, because, okay, this first meeting, it was really very general and so on. So we have to prepare the next event that will attract people, that will somehow motivate them to. So I think it's very big responsibility on our shoulders. So this is how I see the next step before we meet together again. So it's the work on the national level. It's important for the development of the project as a whole. Thank you.
Okay. I think if you want to say something else, please tell me. If not, I think we can stop here. I want to thank you, all of you, for being here and for your participation. So please use this project to connect people and try to stay updated on the activities that we are going to develop. And in the chat, you have some contact information to know the project. I will share with you the online course. It's in Spanish or Valenciano. But then when the course is completed, we are going to do a formal invitation for all of you. And so that's everything for me, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Have a nice week.
Bye bye. Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.